So you've got a beautiful photo of a rose and you want to paint it. But where on earth do you start? Let me give you a few tips on how to do it. You'll be able to download this sketch and the painting if you'd like to give it a go yourself. I'm using cold press Arches paper, 300 GSM and a few Daniel Smith paints. You'll find the full list of materials in the description below. I just happened to pick up my water brush and with it I'm wetting the whole rose except for the sepals. I'm taking the approach of painting loosely on the whole and then adding more details later. Because my paper's wet, I've needed to mix a creamy mix of Quinacridone Rose, Buff Titanium and Yellow Ochre to create a soft, creamy rose colour. I'm blocking in the rose and just avoiding the highlights. The paint is spreading softly into the highlighted areas, and even though I may still be lifting some, well, a lot of it's done already. I'm painting straight over the bottom edge of the big petal because this will give the bottom edge of the petal of the fold over a little bit of natural shadow with an instant highlight on top. Then I continue to block in and just leave little gaps, little highlights, especially where the top edges of the petals are drawn. Even though I try to preserve the highlights, I'm still going to have to lift some. So I'm using the Rosemary & Co. Eradicator. It's a lovely, soft but firm brush that doesn't damage the paper and allows for gentle lifting. You can also use any other flat brush. Flat brushes seem to work the best. I'm looking for some interesting details within the flower, and I see this reflected light at the base of the rose from the sepals, a soft green you might say. It's these little details of unexpected color that really make your rose pop. And then I'll allow this to dry. I'm going to speed it up with my hairdryer. I've picked up my 1/4" Shiraz dagger and mixing a little lemon yellow and lavender to create that very, very soft and gentle greeny hue at the base of the rose. And now by adding a little more lemon yellow and some Prussian blue to it, I can get this beautiful green color and continue with the stem. Keeping it darker at the very top underneath the base of the flower and to the right-hand side. I find it handy to use my water brush and just wet little sections of the flower instead of having to wash my brush all the time. Here's another special little color detail. There's a little bit of a warm shadow in there, so I'm adding a bit of yellow ochre to the Quinacridone Rose. If you're painting from a photo, it's important to observe those tiny little highlights and little shadow areas and to lift them as soon as you see them. And do a lot of squinting because your eyes, when they're not in the squinting position, just can't see those differences. The Dagger brush is just so handy when painting flowers because it's so many brushes in one, and you can have a thin line or a thicker line or a gradated line, whatever you need. Now for the main petal there in the foreground. I can see that some of the fold over is darker than the body of the petal. So to do this, I'm coming in with some darker paint on the very edge and then blending it out. It's important for me to keep turning the rose to make it easier to use the brush. And I wouldn't have seen that little bit if I hadn't have squinted. On the right-hand side of this petal, the fold over is a little bit lighter than the base of the petal. All these differences are so minor, so you really have to have a good look. But they really make all the difference. I squinted at this area over here, quickly looked at the same area on my rose, only to see that mine was all one value, which means I knew exactly what to fix. The easiest way to find these light and dark values is by having a black and white photo of your subject. If your reference photo is on your phone, you can convert it to black and white simply in your phone's camera gallery settings. But of course, if you don't have access to one, then squinting is the way to go. This is how you need to look at every little section of your rose to determine the difference between what's on your painting and what's on the reference. And you have to ask yourself, what's different on mine? And when you answer that question, you'll know how to fix it. I keep evaluating the lighter and darker tones. But remember, they don't all have to match up perfectly. It's the feel of the rose that we're after. So you look for the ones that seem most impactful. I'm turning my paper as I go to make it easier, and you should too. Your hand will thank you later, and your brush will perform better. Now, this is exactly where my brushstrokes before paint approach really pays off. I know that if I use my half-sword shader where the creamy paint is on the very tip of the brush, it then feels like magic as I drag my brush along the top edge of the petal in front. This gives me a beautiful, hard, crisp edge and a self-gradating shadow all at the very same time with a single stroke. If you'd like to know more about these special brush strokes that you can actually see in advance before you start painting, check out this video up here. With a bit of practice, you'll find that it's easier achieving a really thin line with your dagger brush rather than a smaller round brush. With the added benefit that there's always more reserve paint in your dagger brush than you can hold in a small brush. I'm taking my time and continually looking at the lighter and darker values and using thin washes of colour to add them. There'll be a little bit of music now to make the process more pleasant. And then there'll be a few more tips later on. To breathe a little bit more life into my rose, I'm adding some warmer and cooler shades here and there. So I'm adding some new Gamboge to my Quinacridone Rose for the warmer reddy looking colours, and also a little bit of lavender swept across the cooler petals. I've been building up my rose slowly with lots of layers and adjustments to the values, but I have really enjoyed it. I tackle these roses in many different ways, and next time it'll be a different way. On your phone, you can use an app called Colorify. That's what I use to convert this photo into a line drawing. Makes it really simple. If you're short on rose photos, come over to school. I have a whole bunch of photos that I've taken and tracings for you to use. The door's always open and the first 7 days are on me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.